This program may contain material that is not suitable for all audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Welcome to Straight Talk with DC Hannah, coming to you live from the Corona Apocalypse. You know, as far as apocalypses go, this one's pretty dull. You know, I thought there was going to be more zombies. There was going to be more car chases. There was going to be more women in leather bikinis. We have gotten a lot of gals in yoga pants with the weather getting nice, so I'll take that. But aside from that, this is probably the worst apocalypse ever. I look outside the window, hoping to see a swarm of murder hornets, just to make things interesting. Oh, God. It's gotten to a point where I'm watching sports on TV. I think I got to the end of the internet on bad sci-fi movies. I find myself doubling back. I see something on YouTube, and, oh, I saw that one. Oh, I've seen that one. I've even scraped the bottom of the barrel. Movies that would be too poor for Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yes, I have watched them. What can I do? Well, sports. Sports on TV. Now, we talked before about, with all the major sports being shut down, that minor sports have come to the fore. It's their great season. The other day, I saw midget wrestling. I saw midget racing on ESPN. You can understand why my mind went to midget wrestling, because, yeah, the cars were small, little tiny cars around a little tiny track, but the winner was an honest-to-God midget. It's our time, the little people say, and they wave their little tiny stubby fingers. It's our time. It is the time when alternative sports get to come to the front. Well, one sport that enjoys great mainstream support is MMA. And the other night they had UFC on ESPN. Now, it wasn't pay-per-view. It's one of the lesser known, one of the warm-up matches or something. So I got to watch it without having to pay for it, which is good because, to be honest, I wouldn't pay for UFC. All I had to do was basically go and visit my old in-laws, and then, there's plenty of fighting to go around. But UFC, it went on. But it went on in an empty arena. There was a referee with a mask. There were two fighters, no masks, obviously. There was the ring attendants, the gal in the tight shorts, and a mask. I don't know how that works. And then there were camera guys, and there was one guy in each corner for cuts and bruises and things. But that was it. Otherwise, they were in a darkened room, and the echo of every little sound and every voice off the walls was kind of eerie. And the more I watched it, the more it triggered a memory in the back of my head. And that was of All-Star Wrestling when I was a kid. Did you watch All-Star Wrestling? Now, up in Nebraska, All-Star Wrestling came from Omaha. And they had it in the TV studio of one of the Omaha TV stations. So every sound bounced off the walls of the TV studio. And at the same time, they had about a dozen chairs set up on the back side of the ring so you could see about a dozen people on a Sunday morning watching All-Star Wrestling. Now, when I got into TV production, I learned the secrets about this, how the sets are at an angle to each other. No, I'm not giving up any secrets of magic here, by the way, but how the sets are at an angle to each other. So with the same camera, you can shoot the wrestling action and then pivot, and you can have an interview between Mean Gene Okerlund and the Iron Sheik. And it really seems like a big operation. But really, it's in a room probably not much bigger than my little studio and cigar rolling room here at Stately Hannah Mansion, which is smaller than you might think. Unlike the TARDIS in Doctor Who, it's smaller on the inside. Well, UFC fighting. One guy beats the crap out of the other. He pokes him in the eye a few times. There's a lot of wrestling. Anyway, one guy won, the other guy lost, and the ring announcer says, "The winner is blah, 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 blah." And there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. What were we watching? Basically, we were watching two guys in the training room working out and one beating the other. Like a practice session for pro wrestling. That's what we were watching. But it prepared me mentally for the fight to come the very next day when I went to Walmart. Went to Walmart without my mask. You know, I consciously resist the whole mask thing. You may remember from an earlier episode, the lovely Mrs. Hannah and I went to Walmart and we were glared at. And some people wished death upon us in their eyes. Kill the non-believer. Well, they've stepped up their campaign. Not only are they going to battle with those of us who refuse to wear the mask, to take the mark of the beast, but they've actually sent out the heavy cavalry. I went to Walmart with the missus, and when we went in, I wasn't wearing a mask. I was wearing my Stetson, I was wearing my gun, I was wearing my boots, but no mask. Immediately when we went in, I caught the eye of one of the new Corona warriors. And it was the heavy cavalry. It was a Coronapotamus on one of their mobility carts. She saw me from across the way and started to drive toward me. And as she did, I realized I was the focus of her attention because she was giving me the death stare over the top of her badly fitted, badly worn mask. Now this gal weighed 325 pounds. Her ass hung out both sides of the cart. The front hung out the front. Big old Dunlap on this gal. And I couldn't see the back, but I'm confident that her backside hung out over the top of the sissy bar, or whatever that backrest thing is, on the back of a mobility cart. But she had her shoulders hunched forward, and she was leaning into it, like she was a motorcycle rider getting ready to ascend a hill on a hill climb. But it was level. It's the concrete floor of a Walmart. The reason she's leaning forward is that she is straining the ability of the electric motor on the cart to go forward. Now, if I'd have been close enough, if my hearing was good enough at that point, I probably would have heard the grinding of gears and smelled the smoke of an electrical motor overloading. But she was coming toward me. So we walk into the store and, you know, we're going to get our stuff. But now she's following us. And as she's following, she's slowly gaining ground. And I do mean slowly. Walmart mobility carts are not meant for speed. They're probably not meant for comfort either, but they're not meant for speed. But she's approaching. And finally, I can hear something. I don't hear the motor. I don't hear her straining at her breath. No, I hear Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries. Bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum, bum. Now, I hear this in my head, but I know what's coming. The Ride of the Valkyries. She is moving into battle, slowly but inexorably, to do battle with me, the non-believer, the non-mask wearer. Because she is going to whip out a 350-pound can of righteous Rona whip ass on me because I dare not to cover my face. For a moment, I feel like I'm in one of those Muslim countries where the women have to cover their face. And you know, you may think about this. Last year, all those good Americans were saying, we'll never have Sharia law in this country, never cover your face, actually wanting laws to be passed prohibiting women from wearing face coverings and head coverings in public. And now, If you don't, you are the heretic. You are the infidel. So in addition to everything else, leader of the cigar resistance, libertarian, outlaw, renegade, I'm now an infidel. Go figure. Well, she's approaching. She's getting closer. And I look over at the missus, and she's put her mask on. She's prepared. She's safe now. She's gone ollie oxen free, whatever they call it. Not me. I ain't doing it right then. But she's still coming toward me. And for a moment, I have one of those Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom moments. I hear Marlon Perkins in my head, and he's saying, "The Walmart Coronapotamus is approaching." And I know I've got to do something to survive. As I said, no mask, but I know how to improvise, adapt, and overcome. So what do? Well, I realize I have a bandana in my pocket, because every good cowboy has a bandana. And I'm close to the health and beauty aids. I got an idea. So very quickly, I duck down the aisle of the feminine hygiene products. I grab my bandana and I tie it on. Kind of a challenge with a hat, but I'm up for it. And then I grab a box of mini pads. I grab a mini pad and I pull off the adhesive backing and I stick it right on my face. There we go. I am now masked and filtered. Can you still hear me? God, I don't think I can hear me right now. I am masked and filtered and good to go. Well, just like I had brought out a magic talisman, it stopped that Coronapotamus in her tracks. She was confused because now I am one of her. I am covered and I am filtered. And I am breathing through this as we speak. Look at this. I am breathing through the mini pad. If I ever had to move fast, it definitely occludes the air a little bit. But I'll call that the filtering. Now, the good news is, because the filter part's on the outside now, if there are any deadly Ronaviruses around or anything else that, normally would be filtered by a feminine hygiene product, I can just peel this thing off and throw it away. Grab another one, slap it on there, and I'm good to go for the rest of the day. Sometimes I just don't feel fresh. Fortunately, Summer's Eve, Tampax, Kotex, Mini Pad can make me feel fresh and protect me from the deadly Ronavirus. Now, if you don't want to be so obvious about it, this is 2 layers of bandana. You want some filtering? Fold this thing up like this, stick the pad on the inside, pull it back down, and look at that. I now have reliable protection all day, and no one knows. Holy crap, I can run on the beach, I can play tennis, I can ride horses, and I can still feel fresh. Now, okay, I gotta lose this thing. All right, now, big breath. Make sure you get mini pads, because the maxi pad, this thing will kill you. Look at that. Completely occlude the airway. You put this thing in your bandana and they'll find you dead. And if that happens, the death certificate's going to say it's a death by COVID-19. And we want to deny the government every false COVID death and do that for our fellow citizens. No maxi pad, use the mini pad. Oh my God. Well, I think I need a cigar after that. So I'm going to go outside and I'm going to enjoy me a cigar. But first, this word from our sponsor. Okay, I am, as you know, I do this. I've also been on the radio. I've also been a voice actor. I've done voice work, commercials, public service ads. This is my audition for the post-corona voice actor industry. If you or a loved one received the COVID-19 vaccine and developed impotence, unexpected growth of additional fingers or toes, or sudden death, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Contact the law office of Rona, Zona, and Bona. The choice of an attorney is an important one and should never be based on a TV ad. What do you think? I think I've got a real shot. And if I'm the first one out of the gate on this, guess what? I'll corner the market. Like that one dude that does every personal injury lawyer, asbestos, 3M earplug, all that. I don't know if you've noticed. It's all the same guy. Well, if he dies of the Rona, I want to be that guy because that is guaranteed income right there. I am all over that. So, time to go outside and enjoy me a good cigar. Welcome back to Straight Talk. Out here enjoying a cigar on the small arms range where I teach young Miss Jane the fine art of BB gun shooting. Smoking this morning a La Gloria Cubana Serie R Estelí from General Cigar. And this is a pretty good cigar at the very beginning. This has a Colorado shade wrapper. It's grown in Ecuador. The Estelí indicates, in this case, that it is a Nicaraguan filler. They also use Dominican filler with it, which is a pretty decent combination in this case. Now, for cigars from Estelí, I expect pepper. That is kind of a signature of the soil there. I'm not picking that up in this case. What am I getting? Well, there it is. There is a touch of pepper on the nose, but it is mostly a smooth tobacco, a little bit of bread, that toasty yeast kind of flavor, which is a good thing. When I say yeast, instantly don't go to the bad place. So, decent cigar, a good cigar. These do come at a good price. They're from General Cigar. They're not overpriced. And this is a good smoke. Smooth draw, not too loose, definitely not too tight. It does need a wee touch up at the very beginning. That may have been how I was lighting it. Now I am sitting out, so you'll hear background noise at spacious and stately Hannah Manor. Getting ready for a rainstorm that should be here in about an hour. I can start to feel a little bit of moisture. If it hits before then, we'll shut things down, move the electronics inside, and we'll finish this inside. This is a relaxing smoke. It's good with a cup of coffee. Touch of leather, that little bit of pepper on the nose, and that yeast, they make for a good combination. And it is a good looking cigar. See? How's that for a 3-minute cigar review? Try it. You'll like it. Well, in good news, the FDA has pushed back the compliance with the substantial equivalent reporting on cigars to September, probably because of the Rona. None of the federal employees can go into the office. The bad news is that also applies to the IRS. If you submitted your taxes on time, the IRS has taken their damn sweet time getting your refund to you. Those of us who file by paper because we have supporting documents and that, we're still waiting. Yes, I am still waiting. And the IRS says all the taxpayer assistance offices are closed. Now, they haven't said that the enforcement side is closed. They're probably still paying the people with guns and the accountants whose job it is to take every damn dime from you and me. how do you beat that? Well, we beat that old school, the same way that we beat the Rona regulations old school. And we go back to speakeasy culture. Speakeasies, those underground drinking and gambling dens during the Prohibition period. Now today you can buy alcohol, buy the drink or buy the pitcher and carry it out of a bar. So we're not talking about alcohol prohibition. Instead, what I'm talking about here is prohibition on haircuts, prohibition on dog grooming, and in some locations, prohibition on cigars. This one's for you, all my brothers in lockdown, throwing smoke. Well, live the speakeasy culture. It's kind of funny. Today, in some parts of the country, you can walk right into a shop that'll sell marijuana. You can tell them you want 1/4 of an ounce of Blue Kush or whatever the names are. I haven't kept up. No longer can you get Panamanian Red, Acapulco Gold. That's old school. That's boomer weed. Today it all has names that sound like products that are made by Drew Estate. Blue, Kush, Acid, Plush, whatever. Yeah, I haven't kept up. Frankly, I'm not that interested. But you can walk into those shops and buy some weed, walk right out with your head held high. But in the same place, you can't get your dog groomed. Or if you want a haircut, it's like a drug deal in the old days. You've got to have coded messages. You've got to seek out a beautician who, like do it on the down low. And then you've got to sneak a message to him or her. And then you've got to meet at a secret location or go into the shop with the blinds drawn and the lights off and make sure it's a cash-only transaction. It is kind of exciting to elevate getting a haircut or getting your dog groomed to a secret mission. In doing so, because cash is king, we are denying the state the taxes. That's right, a business can't collect tax if they're not supposed to be open. Now the state may not have figured that part out yet, that by not allowing businesses to be open, they'll still be open. They just won't collect any taxes because no one's going to incriminate themselves. And I am happy to oblige. During the extended shutdown, anytime I needed something from a business that wasn't allowed, I'd make a phone call, send a cryptic text, and make sure I had a pocket full of cash. And the business person benefited from it. It's weird. I could buy any gun I wanted. If I was close to Colorado, I could drive across the border and buy some weed. I could go to a liquor store, but I couldn't go to a library and learn something. I know, the internet, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Sometimes there's no substitute for a good book, and not every book is online. So the government wants us drunk and ignorant because they have liquor stores open and libraries closed. Think about that for a minute. So the greatest act of rebellion is no longer to act like Cheech and Chong knocking on a door. Dave's not here, man. No, the greatest act of rebellion is reading a book, getting your hair cut, and paying cash for it. Now this is what America was founded on. A population of tax cheats and rebels and whiskey distillers who weren't going to pay a whiskey tax. Look up the Whiskey Rebellion sometime. You may think of George Washington in a completely different light afterwards. But that is America, and it's still America. For the bootleg cigar roller, for the beautician, for the dog groomer, for the shade tree mechanic, for the mask maker, sewing masks at home. Hint, hint. This is the real America. This 4th of July, don't fly the American flag, fly the Gadsden flag. Don't tread on me. Fly the Gonzales flag. Come and take it. My friends, cultivate your spirit of rebellion, your resistance. And this shout out goes to my friends in the cigar resistance. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. If you don't know what that means, Google those phrases. It'll all become known to you. Hint, it's from the movie Red Dawn, and it's actually from World War II as well. You'll learn something, and learning is half the battle. Well, this is a good smoke. Not a great smoke, but a good smoke. And I'd like to thank my friend Rusty who provided me with this. And it's definitely going to get, I'm definitely going to smoke it all the way down with some smooth black breakfast blend coffee. There you go. Let you read that sentiment. And it's time to get on with my day. Friends, thanks again. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Straight Talk with DC Hannah. Give me a like over at Facebook at Straight Talk with DC Hannah. Share this with your friends if you find it interesting and entertaining. Feel free to give me feedback on Facebook. I love to hear from you. Enjoy that retro hail. And you know what? I'll see you soon. To all of you watching, all of you just a little bit dumber now than you were a half an hour ago, peace out. To my family and my friends, I love you. Stay strong, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Time to pop smoke. I am out of here.